It's the best damn Timberwolves podcast in the Midwest.
We're the best!
Reigning, defending, undisputed.
You're now running with the Timberwolves.
Bring your ass.
Welcome into another Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. My name is Gabe Anderson, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris Emerson. Chris, how we doing?
Doing great. I missed the last couple ones with some technical issues on my side, but we're still in the playoffs. We're okay, but it's been a little bit of a downtime here for the Wolves. Not so exciting the last couple bits.
Right, and we'll talk about it on today's show. We're going to talk about if Mike Conley is done and should the Wolves move on. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about last night's collapse, which is what you could call that, definitely a collapse. We're going to talk a couple trades, the show. But before we get going, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 450 subscribers, so help us get there. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend as well. And if you're on Spotify, comments, you can leave comments on Spotify and Apple, maybe not Apple, but for sure on Spotify. Comment who you think the Wolves should go after at the trade deadline. Let me know in the comments on YouTube or on Spotify as well. So let's get into it. I saw this stat from Wolves Lead, actually two of them. One's from Wolves or T-Wolves Lead, and then one from All Things Minnesota. Mike Conley during our 0-3 streak, and this is via at T-Wolves Lead, 63 minutes, 6 points, 2 for 15, 1 for 3 from 3. And then this tweet from at All Things Minnesota, since the beginning of December, 26% from the field, 24% from 3. And here's the thing. When I watch Mike Conley, I actually think his strength right now is defense, because there's a couple times where he has some solid defensive possessions where he causes a turnover or just a tough shot. I think he's still, if there's anything left of him, it's a decent on-ball defender. I don't know how good he is off-ball, but I'll say this, and then I'll throw it to you. If the Wolves want to win a championship, there is no chance that Mike Conley can play 15 to 20 minutes a night on a championship team. No chance.
100% agree. Yeah. I think he is, a wily vet, calm the group, that type of thing, but he's a bench, like not even, stay on the bench type role. I was looking into him a little bit today. I was actually looking at last year's defense because I was like, what happened last night? Like, how did we get crushed so bad by George? Mike Conley last year in the playoffs was actually kind of a monster. He was probably by far our best defender on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he was the one that we used the most or spent the most time on him. He was – I've got the numbers, and like you were saying, it kind of goes to what you're saying with his defense, how it's, been important. But like last year versus OKC, Mike Conley defended Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the most, him, Dante, and Jaden almost all the same. But between the three of them, he gave up 5 points total. Jaden gave up 24, and Dante gave up 14. And then if you're looking at points scored by the team when they're being defended, Conley gave up 60 points for the team when he was defending Shai. Jaden gave up 82, and Dante gave up 48. And the field goal percentages are the same. Mike Conley gave up only 12% shooting versus Shai. And that was, mind you, he's defended him more than anyone else on our team last playoff series. And then Jaden was 61% Shai shot versus him, and Dante was 33%. So, like you showed those numbers offensively, and Mike I think he just doesn't have it anymore. Like there gets to be a point where maybe even just getting open isn't even possible. But in a pinch, he can play some defense. But if we're going to make a run for the championship, what I've been saying for a couple of years now, and you've been on it too, we need to improve at our second guard position. Like there needs to be something there that matters. And right now on our team, when Mike's out there, if Rudy's out there and I mean, Jaden was shooting hot, but like there's those three guys the defenses don't really care about, and it's hard to have five guys on the court and three of them defenses don't care about. So, yeah, we might have to make a move.
Right. And the other thing is, it would be tough to have two veterans. And I know everyone loves Joe Ingles, right? And we were talking actually last week with Andrew Dukowitz about like how much they mean in the locker room, how much that actually he said that Joe Ingles gets on ants at film sessions, which is interesting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. But it would be tough to have two aging veterans not contribute to their team and eat up $13 million when you're trying to win a championship. I mean, let's just look at some of the players that are close to Conley's age. Chris Paul, not on a team right now. Kyle Lowry, not getting any minutes. PJ Tucker, I don't even know if he's on a team. Maybe he is. I don't know. Jeff Green, bottom of the bench, just kind of sitting there. He's their Joe Ingles. I think Jeff Green's been in Houston for a while. Obviously, the outliers are Kevin Durant, who is one of the best scorers in NBA history, obviously Mike Conley's not that. And then, of course, LeBron, who is, LeBron. Freak. Yeah, a freak. And is there any way, let me ask you this. Is this even possible? Could the Wolves go to Mike Conley? Kind of like, remember when we were talking about how Dante DiVincenzo was going to start over Mike Conley, and we were saying that it would just take Coach Finch going to Conley like, hey, this is for the best.
Yeah.
This is a move that needs to be made. Let me know if this is even possible. So in this scenario, we get someone like a Sexton or a Trey Jones or Dosunmu, something like that. Yeah. Is it a
role player?
Yes, but we have in writing with the Bulls or Charlotte, whoever, we're going to send you Mike Conley, and then you're going to waive him. You're going to waive him. Could he, at that point, re-sign with us for like a veteran minimum?
No.
He could. That can't happen. Okay.
Yeah, you can't go back to the same team. There's a rule in there for that. But because I know what you're saying. Like, and that's the thing about Mike Conley is, the Timberwolves, if you're looking for trades, it's a tough team to make trades with because we have a couple really, really high-priced guys in Gobert and Edwards. And then we've got some kind of middling price guys in Jaden and Nas that are at like right around 20 and 25 million a year.
Right.
And then it's kind of a big drop-off. You've got Dante like at 13 or 12, and then you've got Mike at 10, and then nothing before that. So when you want to make a trade work, what people have to understand is it's not even so much about talent versus talent in trades. You have to make the cap money work. So like if I'm trading 30 million out, I need 30 million back, or 6 million out, I need 6 million back. So Mike Conley at 10 is that's a number that you can add Dillingham at 6 or something like that too, and get a decent player. Right. But I'm just not sure as an organization we're going to move Mike Conley. I feel like, and maybe we are, and like you said, maybe if we talk it through with him, it'd be different. It's just, I believe he took a pay cut. I think he was supposed to make like 25 million, and he took a pay cut to stretch that into a couple more years at less money. Like you said, old vet, been here forever, was on the team, starters for the last 2 Western Conference Finals teams. I just don't know if as an organization you cut a vet like that loose. I think it's a bad look for the organization, even if it's best for the team. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do, because logically that $10 million is a really nice trade chip.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-year contract. So he's, it's cap saving. It's a coupon for the other team. I feel like we're not going to do it just because it's a bad look for like future veterans that might want to come to our team.
Yes.
And from my vantage point, it looks like we've been going out of our way to really treat veterans well when they come through here. I just don't know if it would happen, but I mean, logic is there to move him.
If it did happen, what would need to happen is a lot of PR after it. It would need to be Conley coming out saying, "Hey, we reached an agreement. They realized that this is a move we need to make," and he might understand that. I mean, it's not like he's in his career played for the Lakers or the Boston Celtics, where their window, for the most part, is always open, right? Like the Lakers had some bad years in the 2010s. But with Kobe, their window was always open. With Boston, the window is always open. Maybe a few bad years here and there, but people are going to want to go. The Knicks, even though they haven't been great in their recent history, there's always a chance a star is going to want to go there. I almost feel like you could convince Conley and say, hey, we need to do this because our window is small. And we have a lot riding on this, and we have new owners, and we have a new arena coming, and we love what you've done for this team. You'll never be forgotten. You're part of 2 Western Conference Finals runs, something that this city has never seen, and you are absolutely part of it, good and bad. But this is a move we need to make, and we love you, but we just have to do it. We just have to do it. And honestly, if we do trade Conley, I assume he gets waived, because I don't think we're trading with like a OKC Thunder or Houston or some team that's going to compete this year. The Bulls are probably going to be in the play-in, let's be completely honest. But I just think that we might have to do it. And I know Tim Conley does not want to. I can guarantee that, like from talking to Andrew Dukowitz and Charlie Walton, it feels like you were saying, that they do value veterans. They do want to do right by them. I just think you might have to, as a last necessity. And the other thing is, if Conley gets traded and he does end up getting waived, I think he's done. I don't think he signs somewhere else.
Of course.
To me, Mike Conley is Kyle Lowry right now.
Yep.
They're on the same trajectory, in my opinion. Now, Kyle Lowry is probably more important to the Raptors than Mike Conley is to Memphis, although that can be debated. I don't know. But until this 0-3 run, I was, okay, we can keep Conley. We'll be fine. We'll be all right. Now I'm thinking, we got to do it. We got to do something. And it sucks that it has to be Conley. It sucks that it has to be Conley.
I definitely agree we have to do something. Because I don't think this roster has the capability of winning a title. As is. I mean, of course, we could do it the way the Bucks did, where everybody gets hurt that you play, and you get your way to a title. I'm not saying that can't happen. The NBA, anything can happen.
Right.
But we're not going to be like the best team. Like we have to get lucky, or Anthony Edwards has to go inferno mode. So if we want to have a window that's more than closed, I think we do need to improve our overall talent and just the way that our team is put together. And I don't think trading Conley is even an issue with making it right with Conley. I don't think that matters really much at all. I think what matters is, so let's say we make this trade and we bring in Kobe White, or we bring in Malik Monk or something like that, and he's on a couple years. Now we've got a good squad. I mean, the money's high, you can't really do anything. The thing about being good to veterans is, when you're a team that's in the top, you want to get a veteran on a veteran minimum. And there's guys like, I don't know who, like decent role players that are like former starters or almost still starters, that will sign those veteran minimum contracts for big teams if those teams are known to like treat them well. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's Conley. I think it's the future 2 or 3 years where we pick up a guy like, I can't even think of a name off the top of my head, but
like a Drummond or something,
or even better than that, like a guy that's like, contributing okay. But yeah, you get him for nothing, where he could have went to any team at that price. He chose us. That's the thing. Like, that's why you give Patrick Beverley a 2-year contract when you're trading him, because now he's paid for 2 more years. Like, that's a good look for us. Stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, we're in a tough spot, and I'm excited to see what Tim Conley does, because I don't think that it's news to him that we need a some more talent on this roster to make a run.
Well, and I get what you're saying, but at the same token of that, I think the allure of a guy like Anthony Edwards is enough for these guys, these mid-level, like you said.
It hasn't been
free agents to. I think going forward it will be.
I hope so.
It's starting a rise of that. Also, if Conley gets traded and then gets bought out, he's going to get most of that money anyway.
He'll get it all.
Conley's not getting a new contract. He would just be ripping the stability away from him just for life. Like, I mean, honestly, not really, because he could just retire, and if he wants to live in Minnesota, that's great. He can play in the 3M Pro-Am anytime he wants, every single year. He can be everyone's favorite guy there.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Conley thing.
Right.
A Mike Conley thing. My opinion on trading him or not and the bad luck for the team has nothing to do with, I don't care how Mike Conley feels about it.
Right.
I think he understands the thing, but I think just going forward, it's possible it'll look bad, but I don't know. I mean, I could be completely overreacting to that and it's no big deal, but yeah, Conley's a great trade chip and I'd love to move him, to be honest with you.
I would, just the way it shakes out. And how about the fact that those stats that I read earlier, Conley's been so bad, and the fact that Rob Dillingham can't get the floor at all. I have never been more sure that Tim Connolly is shopping somebody as I am that I'm sure that he is shopping Rob Dillingham, because with how bad Conley's been doing, and Bones' inconsistency here and there, I'm not 100% sold on Bones, to be completely honest with you, particularly in a playoff run. You can go check out our video with Andrew Dukowitz last week, and I asked him, would Bones get any playing time come the playoffs, all things considered, and he said probably not. But
I disagree.
I don't know. Particularly if we make a move, I don't know if he gets minutes. But
if we make a move.
Yeah. But I think I've never been more sure that I don't think. When's the trade deadline? February. It's like in 2 weeks, I think, like in 2 Thursdays.
Yeah, the big thing. Yeah, the big thing is.
Hold on, sorry. I've never been more sure that Rob Dillingham is out the door, or at least they're trying to. He has to be.
Yeah,
he has to be.
Well, I think the disconnect is Tim Connolly, and Tim Connolly drafts guys and he makes trades. And then Chris Finch makes those players play. I don't think Chris Finch had a lot of knowledge in the Dillingham selection. I don't think he knew we were moving up in the thing. I don't think he knew we were getting a 19-year-old undersized guard that didn't start in college. I don't think he knew that stuff. Because I remember on draft night, he was like, "Oh, this was a surprise. I'm gonna have to watch some tape on him." So he wasn't even.
Right.
It wasn't even on his radar. So it's understandable that throwing him at Chris Finch is like, I don't have to play this guy, and I would rather play this wily vet, but we need people that actually make an impact.
Yeah. So let me throw you, actually, no, we'll go a different direction and then come back to it. Quickly on last night, this is why, and not even last night, the last 3 games, this is why then the Wolves Twitter and people on Facebook and all over social media, we need to get away from the notion of moral victories. And I've been saying this for a couple years. And great, you came back against the Spurs. You put on great TV against Wemby. You still lost the game and lost positioning in the playoff hunt. Oh, you didn't have Ant against Houston, and it was a scrappy effort. I heard people talking about this is the best 2-game losing streak the Wolves have ever had. No, this is a 2-game losing streak. Yeah. This is a bad thing. This is a bad thing because you lost 2 games to teams that I don't even know if we're chasing the Spurs anymore. I think they're too good. If Wemby doesn't go down, let's be completely honest. I mean, we could, but our schedule is difficult going forward. But I don't think that the Wolves I don't think that was a good moral victory weekend. It wasn't. We lost twice, and then you just assume, okay, they'll go out and beat the Jazz. It'll be fine. They'll go. Laurie's not playing. The Jazz are 0-10 without Lauri Markkanen. Who's this Keontae George guy? Well, how about this? The Wolves going into the fourth quarter were up 12 points. going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, they went 3 for 15 from three. They shot 15 threes. And I know that you don't want to change what you're doing. You don't want to change what got you there. But if you're 3 for 15, do something else. Try something else. Try something else. My God.
It's laziness. It's thinking like your talent is going to push you to the finish line and you're going to get there without having to really work hard. Like, we didn't want to work hard. We didn't want to cut. We didn't want to make plays. We didn't want to pass others. We just wanted to chuck up threes, hope they fall, and we can get out of there with it, with a win. It was an unprofessional. I mean, I said it in our chat room. This game has to be a professional win. We have to be professional, and we have to blow this team out like we were doing earlier in the year. And it was everything but that.
Yep.
You know, we have issues on our team with professionalism still, you know, and it was cute for a while calling it because we're young, but we're not young anymore. Like, these guys have been here for a long time. And, you know, sometimes this stuff exposes issues that we have, and we need to be better. And I always say I only care what we're playing with, you know, the last 5 to 10 games in the season. That's when I want to be rolling good. But, you know, come trade deadline time, we might have to make some adjustments to make sure that can happen.
I totally agree with you because the schedule gets harder. Like, it really does. And I think we are in the gauntlet right now. It's just crazy to me that we let a guy now. Keontae George, you're having a great year, almost
most improved player, probably, or we're right up there.
Most improved player, but you can't let Keontae George and Kyle Filipowski and Yusef Nurkic beat you. I'm sorry, at full strength. That can't happen. That cannot happen. And it wasn't even like Utah was, you know, hitting crazy off the backboard threes. If you look at the shot chart, it's right at the rim. Where's the rim protection? And I know Rudy was trying his hardest, but where's the rim protection, Nas? Where's the rim? Where's the weak side defense? Where's cutting off the weak side cuts? It almost looked like the Warriors out there with all the weak side cuts that the Jazz were getting. And it was a bad Utah Jazz team without some of their best players. Like,
they're super well coached. They try hard. I do like that about them. I mean, when I was looking at the box score, Keontae George was a -6 in the game, which is insane. Their bench is what killed us. You know, like, we need to be deeper. Like, I would be all for trading a higher price guy that we have on our roster for a couple. Like, you know, I'll trade a $25 million guy for 3 $8 million guys that are all good role players. Now I've got, you know, quite a bit deeper bench. Like, there's issues that we need to do. I don't know if that's the move or if we need to go for another big piece. But, you know, I would be knocking the doors on almost every team if I was Tim Conley, and I'm sure he is. So I would love to be a fly in his room right now.
One last thing I'll say about this, and I've been saying this for a while about Ant. Let me preface this by saying Ant is the best player that we've ever had in Wolves history. He's amazing to watch. He's a top 5 player in the league. He's electric. He's fantastic. I don't know how many superlatives you want to put on it. Stop celebrating early. Stop celebrating early. And I know it's a swagger. It's what he does. But you didn't see Keontae George celebrating early. You know when Keontae George was celebrating? When he hit a dagger 3 to put him up 6 with, like, I don't know, 30 seconds left to go. That's when Keontae George celebrated.
Exactly.
Like, as much as you love the swagger, and I feel like it could come back to bite him. By the way, I thought of one thing. And I know fans are going to hate me for this, but I was watching the Lakers last night, who, by the way, guys, Lakers won last night. They came back against Denver. So we're the 7th seed. So if the season ended right now, we got to win our way into the playoffs. So that's where you should put your positive 2-loss weekend, guys. That's where you should put that. Anywho, I was watching Luka, and it really wasn't a foul bait situation. I think it was like he charged, he kind of went into someone during a Euro step. But what Luka did, instead of arguing right in front of the ref and going at him. What he did is he ran away from the situation. He ran back down court, like questioning the call. That's what Ant should do. At least he's back on he's back on defense at least.
Yeah, and to be an equal opportunity hater on this sort of behavior, we both were, but I was very strong on Karl Anthony Towns. He was
after all that.
He was so bad when he was in a Timberwolf uniform with not getting back on defense. And the same things happened with the Knicks and complaining and hoping he got this call, and that makes it a 4-on-5 the other way.
Or falling down.
Anthony Edwards is getting some of that. And it tends to happen when players start getting bigger credentials and they feel like they should get more credit. They should get more, better leniency from the refs and this and that. It tends to happen and it needs to stop. It's one of the things I hate the most about basketball is when the stars take themselves out of plays and then you see like an open 3-point pointer get hit. You're like, that was a 5-0 run.
Yep.
A 5-0 turnaround because you didn't finish correctly. So yeah, Anthony Edwards needs to look at himself in the mirror a little bit. Prima donna, get it over with. It's time to actually just win basketball games.
I agree with you. And just to clarify, I'm not the biggest Luka guy in the world. That was just one example. It's very clear that Luka complains as much as anybody else. So I'm not throwing – that was just an example. Like I wouldn't even –
if you're going to complain, run back.
Yeah, run back and remove yourself from the situation. And some dumb ref might give you a tech anyway. But, I mean, your better chances – I don't think he's clapping as much at the refs, or at least I haven't seen it. That was pretty bad when he was like clapping at them.
Well, that's when he wants a tech. So there's times when Anthony Edwards wants a technical foul. He wants to prove a point, and he wants that ref to give him a tech. Right. And he tries to get it. Like and you can't tell me. I mean, he couldn't tell me that that's not what he's doing, because if that's it, then he's an idiot, because he's so obvious about some of that stuff that like the ref doesn't have a choice but to give him a tech. Right. We'll see. Let's hope it turns around. I mean, that's on Finch. I mean, when Ryan Saunders was here, he made I remember early in the year, he made a point, like, we're not going to complain with refs. We're not going to bitch. We're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. And the whole season, it was clear. Karl Anthony Towns was his best year of like not complaining. And I was really impressed with that. And I think we need to get back to that as a team and be like, listen, nobody complains. Not once.
Right. Yeah. We almost got to get like a middle school, like assistant coach in there. I'll handle the refs. You handle playing. And obviously, it's optimistic to not complain a little bit in the NBA, but yeah, it's just the demonstrative stuff is crazy.
Well, they're not getting back is what pisses me off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's
you
not
can
just
yell at a ref the whole way if you're locking your guy up on D. You can talk to him about 3 plays ago, but if you're I mean, if the team's fast breaking and you're sitting there talking to the ref, man, like, I would take him out of the game, whoever it is.
Right. Yeah, and other players do it too on the Wolves as well.
Sure.
It's not just Ant, but Ant ball dominant, has the ball in his hands the most. A lot of eyes on him. So let me throw you 3 names as we get close to concluding here.
Okay.
And they're all on the Chicago Bulls.
Okay. I'll give you my order. I want them in.
Dosunmu.
Okay.
Trey Jones.
Okay.
Kobe White. Rank them.
Right. Obviously, there's probably different things that we're going to have to give up for these guys. I'm going to keep that all similar because I don't think they're that dramatically different.
I don't think so.
I would say for the Timberwolves, I want Kobe White first. I know he has, some defensive issues, this and that, but I think our biggest weakness is come winning time, teams will double Anthony Edwards as he crosses the half court line and take him out. And it's shown that. And we don't know what to do when that happens. We need another guy that can be, I hoped it was Dante, and it's not. I think Dante's great, but he's not a guy that's going to be a lead ball guy. He's a shooter. He's a scorer. That's his role, and he's great at it. So I would say Kobe White because we need that other spark. We don't have a third scorer. We have like a one, maybe a 1B or a C in Randall. And then we've got like a fourth or fifth level score after that. We need someone who's a for sure 3.
Yep.
Ao, I love Ao. I think he's always been kind of stuck behind a bunch of people, so he hasn't really got his shot. But he's a big, long defender, and I think he can do a little bit of everything. I would play him 100% over, Mike Conley, Dillingham, any of those guys as a rotational wing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jones, I like Jones a lot too. I think he's a defender. I think he's a great passer. He's not much of a shooter. So I think there's still some limitations that would cause. I would say it's probably still an upgrade short term over like Dillingham and stuff. But I don't know if there's much of a long-term like role for him.
Right.
Like he's not playing over Dante. He's not playing over Edwards. So he's just, maybe getting 12 minutes a game. And I do like him, but teams are going to leave him just as much as they leave, other guys and double Anthony Edwards and let, Trey Jones be the one that wins the game for you. And that's not what we can have.
I think Trey Jones, he gets 15 to 20 because I think he gets all of Conley's minutes, to be completely honest. I really do fine. In that scenario.
Well,
he's playing well. He's playing well for the Bulls. He's setting the table there. He is the true
I loved him.
guard. Like, I'm not calling him Ricky Rubio, maybe a Ricky Rubio light.
Right.
Potentially, because he is a point guard. He's only shooting like 30% from three. He's not great from the field, but he can get to the rim. He could score. He could play a little defense.
He plays a lot of defense. Like, I think his defense is underrated. I had him on my fantasy team earlier in the year, and he was killing it until Kobe White got healthy. I don't dislike him. Mm-hmm. I like Bones as a third point guard type thing, like a change of pace kind of guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure Trey would be my second, just because the same reason is I need someone on the ball that teams care about offensively that, can get his own shot off the dribble and can hit an open 3 so that Anthony Edwards, isn't our only perimeter offensive player.
Right. And I'm going to now I'll go with the 3 Bulls players. And I'm actually going to use different logic because I looked up the salary and I'm thinking long term here. Number 1 is Dosunmu.
Yep.
And the reason is he is an expiring contract, $7 million this year. I don't think that his contract next year is going to demand as much as a Kobe White will, who's also an expiring contract. 100%. I think Dosunmu is a good player, and don't get me wrong, they're like
12 mil maybe next year,
something like that. But the other thing you got to remember is, one, if the Wolves win a championship somehow, none of this matters because that's all I want. You can take me right after that if you want, but because. And if Dosunmu is a big part of that, he's going to get a big contract. That's just what happens. Bruce Brown, look at Bruce Brown. He got a huge contract. There's tons of Matthew Dellavedova way back when got a huge contract. Yeah, these guys, and I know that was a weird offseason as well for free agency, but you win a championship. Look at the Thunder, and I know obviously it's the big 3 there of Chet, Shea, and Jalen. They all got big contracts after winning a championship. It's just what happens. So in that respect, if we don't win a championship, I'd much rather have Dosunmu because I think he can bring like 90% of what Kobe White can. And I think it's a better bargain. Also, in that scenario, obviously some players might have to be added. You don't have to give up Dante either. I don't think. It's only a $7 million contract. Maybe you don't even have to give up Conley. I don't know.
No, that's Dillingham and Filler.
Yeah, like Dillingham and like Leonard. Fine. Yep. If the Bulls honestly want to do that, sure. I'll pick. Like I said, I will drive Rob and Leonard to the airport.
I don't think it's insane to think that too. Like everyone wants to kill Dillingham because he's our guy, and everyone wanted him to be Stephon Marbury like year 1 or something. But like he's still a high draft pick that's still super young. I don't know if he can drink alcohol yet. So like a team like the Bulls, when he's still got 2 or 3 years on a rookie scale contract, like I could understand there being value to like, hey, I'll kick the tires on this guy. He still might be something. So I could see, AO for him being a thing. I know AO and Kobe together are about $20 million. I mean, I don't hate the idea of trying to get both of them.
I don't think that happens, to be honest.
I don't think so either, but I would love it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. Number 2 is Trey Jones, and I know I'm going a different direction than you. I think Trey Jones is he's just what we need, a table setter, which is what we had with Mike Conley. I think just replace some of the production of Mike Conley that we had when we went to the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago, put in Trey Jones and some better, like with Dante there and a couple other pieces. I think that could work. Also, he's under team control for the next couple years, and it'll be a good dry run with Trey Jones where is this a good fit? If it's a good fit, I have no problem running him out there as the starting point guard next year. If it's not a good fit, then hey, you still got Anthony Edwards. You can go find someone else. You can go find someone else to play your point guard in the offseason. There's going to be someone, or you can make a trade. Like, it's just, I feel like it could be a good runway for that. And then, but before you get to your point, my last one is Kobe White. I worry about some of his efficiency a little bit. I get what you're saying with the whole, like, just go get a bucket, just go score for us. I totally understand that part of it, but I don't know. I just think that if he plays super well with us, which would be great, I feel like he's going to be super expensive. Like, he could be one of the highest yielding contracts, maybe not highest, but that second tier of contracts, and we might be out in the cold. And particularly if we gave up Rob Dillingham, which I've said on the show that we need a Rob Dillingham divorce for both sides. But the backlash, if we get Kobe White and he walks and Rob Dillingham becomes something, I think that's a bad look.
Yeah, my only thing about Trey is, so you would see him maybe starting.
I could see it.
So
or
how
like
much more?
Second off the
So
bench,
his only production, whereas his only value offensively is when he's dribbling the basketball and running the offense. How much do you think they'll take it out of out of Randall's and Edwards' hands to give it to Trey Jones?
That's fair. So run the second unit, like just go.
It would have to be second unit, and
I wouldn't mind that either. That'll be fine.
I wouldn't mind it, and I think like we've said before, I think we need a third star. But if we don't get a third star or a third, 20-point score ability type guy, if we don't get that, our third star needs to be ball movement, and I've been saying that for a long time, and it can be. Like, if we just move the ball as a team, you don't need to get another big score because those other guys all eat. And Trey Jones could be the guy that facilitates that gets that, ball movement early, swings it to him, he swings it again. Like, it could end up being that sort of thing where Nas, his points jump up a couple. Maybe Jaden, cuts a little bit and he finds him on some cuts and he finishes at the rim. His points, go up a couple, and all that adds up. So, I mean, I don't hate it. It's just my vision. I think we need more punch from the starters.
So let me ask you this. In your mind, is Kobe White good enough to be the third guy?
I think his skill set is, yes.
Kobe. Okay. I could be convinced for that.
Just because, and I don't even care about production as much. It's just when he brings the ball up, the other defense is like, okay, this guy's going to try to do something, like we've got to focus. Whereas when Trey Jones or one of those other guys bring the ball up, or Conley, nobody cares, or if you're doubling Anthony Edwards at, 45 feet from the hoop and he swings it to an open Kobe White at the top of the 3-point line, like, he can attack the defense and collapse and make something happen, because that's what he does. I'm not sure some of those other guys can do that, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for another guard that is impactful. Like, when he's on the court, you notice him. We have too many guys that I watch every game. Like, I've watched 97% of the games since Ricky Rubio was drafted that Timberwolves have played. And there's guys that when they're on the court, you don't even know they're there for the Timberwolves. Like they'll play 20 minutes and you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know that.
Right.
But then there's guys that when they come in, like Dante, for example, there's an energy. He's getting loose balls. He's here and like they make an impact. We need another guy like that makes an impact when he's out there.
Right. And so my big thing is getting rid of going after Kobe White. It's more logistical. I think we'd have to give up Dante. I really do.
I think we do too. And I think what we have to look at with Dante when it comes to trades is the same thing you're saying about Kobe White if he blows up.
Right.
Dante's going to need a new contract next year. He's got another year left on it.
Right.
But players don't play usually unless the team's given up on them on lame duck things. So he might be making $20 million next year, or the year after next. We're going to sign him for $20 million. Can we do that? I don't know. I don't know if we have the money. So I think Dante might be one of those guys that I would love to have him long term. I just don't think we can afford him. So I think we got to use his value as a trade piece to maybe get something.
I think that's next trade deadline's problem. I really do. I think,
I'm cool with that, then.
In my opinion, we're going to need. I mean, that $12 million is going to be just as good next trade deadline as this one.
Well, except for if you trade it to someone next year,
expiring. Yeah,
if you trade a team next year, now they've got to make a contract themselves, and they've never played with the guy. So it's a little bit harder for that new team. But we'll see. I'm excited. I mean, Tim Conley has to do something. I would think
he has to.
I don't see this team unless somebody blows up and starts playing awesome. But we've kind of seen enough of everybody that you kind of know who they are.
Yep.
Like this team has been together for a long time. Like this isn't just a startup team. Like Nas, Jaden, Rudy, even Edwards. These guys have been. They've got 400, 500 games played together. Like they are who they are. Like nothing's going to change that much in year 8 that hasn't happened in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not none of these guys are going to all of a sudden be much more than they've been. Probably. I mean, maybe, but probably not.
And the hope was Jaden would be that.
Or Nas. Or Nas would pick it up, or even Dante would be a 20-point scorer or something.
Yeah.
And like I love Dante and I think he's got tons of value, but his value is what it is. He's a good role player, probably solid starter. He's not like a high level starter at a 2 guard, but that's okay. Like you need those guys too, but we'll see.
Right. And I think we'll end it there. There's so much more we could talk about, but let's just beat the Bulls tomorrow.
Yes.
And then go from there. And then we got the Warriors minus Jimmy. Which
I will say, a lot of trades tend to happen in sports when you're playing the team. I've noticed it. Like I've noticed it throughout the years that teams will play a team and then the trade happens with that team.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
The Bulls being tomorrow is kind of interesting, or the next game.
I could be wrong. And correct me if I am in the comments, please. But was the night that we traded for Mike Conley were we playing the Jazz? Or am I wrong?
I think we were. I
thought we were. I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, I think
and obviously,
we were.
Obviously, Conley wasn't playing in that game, and neither was D'Lo. I'm sorry, not D'Lo. Yeah, D'Lo. Yeah. Or D'Lo in that. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I thought that the one that I do remember is the Twins were playing back in like 2004. They were playing the Red Sox right at the trade deadline. And I don't know if you remember the player.
Minkiewicz?
Yeah, Doug Minkiewicz. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got traded like the second game or something. And I remember watching the news that night because that's what people did back then, was actually watch the local news. But I remember they interviewed this like totally like Minnesotan woman who looked like straight out of Bemidji. And she's like, and her quote was, "I'm really sad. He was good. So that's why I bought this jersey."
Great.
Hey, more power.
Great insight. Thanks. We'll put that on. Put that front and center on the news tonight.
Which, by the way, I'm trying to find her, and if you know where she is, I'd love to have her on the show. I'm sure it's been 20 years. I don't know if she's still with us. I hope she is.
I hope she is too.
But I would love to talk about that moment. We can gather the clip. It'll be the nichest of niche podcast. Maybe a good one for the off season.
But that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Players get traded a lot of times when they're, they don't even have to get back on the plane to go home.
Right. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Maybe something's cooking. 2 weeks. And we're going to be talking trade because we have to going forward for
and I love
Wolves.
It.
Yeah,
I love trades.
Something's got to happen. I don't think Rob's going to be here. I just got that feeling. I don't
think so either. I think Terrence Shannon Jr. is gone. I think Rob's gone. Anyone in that range. I think those guys are on every basketball team. There's 4 or 5 guys that don't really matter, and shoot them to somewhere else. Maybe they'll get an impact there, and we'll take the guys on your roster that you aren't really fitting in with your team. Maybe they'll fit in with us. At the very least, we should do a trade like that. At the most, I would call Charlotte and see what LaMelo costs.
We'll talk about that next time. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We are out of time. Well, this is the Running with the Timberwolves podcast. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, man, it was great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. And make sure to go to 612tees.com. Use promo code RUN25 at checkout, or just scan the QR code right here to get 25% off your first purchase. The discount will be taken off when you scan the QR code. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Let us know in the YouTube comments and the Spotify comments who you want the Wolves to go after. This is the Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. As always, go Wolves.